Okay, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, remember in the last transmission you said anybody who wants contact can go to Joshua Tree in the
Well,
full
we didn't
moon?
say want.
Oh, what did you
We
say?
simply said that there was an opportunity to experience more opening, different things. It would help heighten the probability of contact in the future, but to simply go and see what you experience so that we can observe where you're at with regard to the idea of contact.
Okay, got it. Well, I went
Yes.
and I saw what looked like 3 spaceships.
All right.
So I wanted to ask you, like, who were they and what was it?
Who were they and what was it?
Yeah, like who was in those ships? Are you allowed to tell me?
I'm allowed to say that some of it is friends of yours, some of it is people you don't know, and some of it is other versions of yourself.
Other versions of myself in
Many
another...
of you have counterparts in some of the extraterrestrial civilizations that visit you, so that you will have a degree of vibrational familiarity with them.
Okay.
Like looking into a mirror but seeing a different face.
But then that...
Knowing that it's still another version of the oversoul that you are also an extension from.
Got it. But then it's also like maybe another being, like a hybrid being, like version of myself.
Yes, in general, there were many, many hybrids present at that moment.
Oh, there were? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So it was great. Then the second question is, then after that experience, I had this really vivid dream where I was on a spaceship and they were doing something. I don't know what they were doing.
All right. A memory of an actual encounter.
Can you tell me what that was? Like what they were doing?
Taking a closer look, taking a deeper observation, a measurement of your energy, and again, how close you may be to the vibration that would allow for a higher degree of probability of contact in the future.
Okay.
They wanted to take a more specific reading.
Okay. Is that possible in my lifetime?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, again, it's not so much that things are or are not possible, it's whether they are probable or relevant. And there is a high degree of probability, yes. Otherwise, again, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations.
Right. Right. Okay.
You can use us to some degree as a marker that those that find us have a great deal of connection to the idea of the hybrids and the idea of experiencing contact. It doesn't mean it's all guaranteed, but it means that your willingness to participate in the beginnings of contact, which is what these exchanges are, heightens the probability of actual physical contact in the future. So generally speaking, those that are present in these exchanges and listening in to these exchanges, those that are connected vibrationally and feel a familiarity with us and the way we share information with you are probably on a similar wavelength, close enough to continue to expand your energy toward the idea of open contact. Otherwise, again, it is not as likely that you would be participating with us in these exchanges. Now, again, it doesn't mean you can't change your mind. It doesn't mean you can't succumb to negative and fear-based belief systems that would take you farther away from the idea of the probability of contact. But in general, if you just let go and go along for the ride and follow the formula, and as we recently said, stay in the eye of the storm, it is increasing the probability of contact with us or beings like us in the relatively near future.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know, that's why I said it.
Okay, then the last thing is, you know how you were talking about neutral preference and like choosing things that are vibrational alignment.
Yes, vibrationally compatible with who you prefer to be.
So then I guess, what's the balance between, you know, when you meet people that may not occur, like they are vibrational balance?
Are you saying that they're vibrationally incompatible?
Yeah, I experienced that. And then I wonder, am I just being biased?
First step, remember. First step always. Honest self-examination. Am I dampening my excitement? Am I biasing the energy with my belief systems.
Right.
Always do that examination first. Then when you are clear that you may not be biasing it, then you know that what you're sensing really is not your preference vibrationally. Again, this is what we're talking about when we say it's important to have clear discernment. But you have to start with yourself in that discernment. Am I coloring this? Could it be something that could serve me? Could it be something that could be made more vibrationally compatible if I change my belief system about what I'm experiencing here? But if you come right down to the core, the essence of the situation, the circumstance, and the belief systems that are active within you at that moment and determine, no, I'm pretty clear that this is vibrationally incompatible with what I prefer, then it's easy to make the decision as to not engage.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
But it starts with you. You have to be clear within yourself about what you're doing.
I get that. I think the only thing that I get a little confused about is how, you know how I was watching a video and you were sharing how like everybody that we interact with, we're only seeing our version of them.
Yes.
So then ultimately if I'm creating how they're showing up or I'm seeing my version of them.
Yes.
Then, and if they're showing up in my life.
Yes.
Then,
but for what reason?
For what reason is for me to discover.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as you clarify yourself, you'll understand why you attracted yourself into that circumstance with that person. Whether or not it's for the circumstance of gaining more discernment, more clarity within yourself, and recognizing you don't need to continue to create your version of them anymore, or you do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was sitting here in the audience last night.
Yes.
I got a memory and thought about since 1990, around 1998.
Yes.
And it had to do with when you were, I participated with you, when you did an event in Thousand Oaks, when you had the money abundance seminar for us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay? And you had everybody bring a coin.
Yes.
All right. And then my participation was I made up flyers and I called everybody to get them there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And then the next day, this man called me.
Yes.
And he said that, well, I had the monatomic stones and everything at the time.
Yes.
All right. And I'd made jewelry out of it and the whole thing.
Yes, yes.
All right. So he called me and said that he was sort of told that he needed to come and buy some of my stones.
Yes.
So he came over to my house and he picked out a lot of stuff and he said, but he wanted so much more. And he said, I just have $300 with me in cash and I want to go home and get more and bring back.
Yes.
Oh, I'm shaking again. Whoa.
And so?
And so he lived about an hour away. Anyway, he came back.
Yes.
And then he bought $1,200 worth of stuff.
All right.
And at the end of the conversation, he said his name was Sananda.
Yes.
And he said at the end of the conversation, he said, I'm an ET. And I said, okay. And I said, we should, let's talk about that. And he said, he was leaving and we would talk about it another time.
Yes.
Okay. So what was he what was that about?
Not in the way he meant it, no. Not in the way you thought he meant it, no. He has a realization of his connections to extraterrestrial energies and was expressing some of that to you.
Okay, I had felt that because we had that money about abundance and everything, and I had done the work, I felt that was sort of, at the time, like you had sent them almost for my abundancy.
I didn't send him. You attracted that so you could have a representation and a reflection that at that moment you were working in a state of being that was more conducive and more aligned with your true self and your connections to extraterrestrial sources as well.
Okay, so now why would that pop into my mind when I was sitting here last night?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe because you're in the presence of an extraterrestrial?
Well, yeah. But I would just thought maybe there'd be more of a connection than he thought, his own connections as to what that was for me other than, so it was the abundance part.
Yes.
Okay.
And also the alignment part and the ability, when you are aligned that way, to experience and attract more things that will reflect that and remind you of that, so that you use them as markers to know that you're in the proper state at that moment when that happens.
Okay. And I also felt that I got information for you about a download, that you would be downloading me with some information.
And we have from time to time done that.
Okay, that was last night. I got a telepathic communication with you. Okay. And I thought maybe that was about the grays. The gray.
Some of it was connected to that, but it goes beyond that.
Okay, so...
But we're certainly not going to talk about it in public.
No, I know we can't talk about it in public.
All right.
But that was the message to me, that you would download me with some information about it.
Yes, we did.
Okay, very good. The other thing I wanted to... about the higher self.
Yes.
I've been talking to my higher self for 30 years.
Yes.
His name is Armandi.
If you say so.
Well, yeah. And so I see Armandi. He's male. And I
Please understand, the higher self is non-physical.
Yeah,
it isn't
I know
one
that.
thing or another, but it will represent itself with a vibration that works for you symbolically. So what you're describing is the representation that the higher mind is giving you to work with. It doesn't mean the higher mind itself is male.
Okay. He just represents himself as male.
Yes, because it's what you will work with more easily.
Okay. It's non-physical, okay?
Yes.
But are they autonomous unto himself, a higher self?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. They're actually
Every
separate.
form and expression of consciousness is autonomous unto itself.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
There you go.
Love you, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So I was here in February, earlier this year, and one of the things there was something that you mentioned to me during one of the questions and answers I had the opportunity to speak with, and just wanted to quickly touch base on that. As a result of that, I'm in the process of going through some life changes that are very exciting at the moment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, there've been a lot of quitting my job and moving to the Amazon jungle.
All right. How
with
exciting.
various shamanistic practices. Yeah, very exciting. So thank you very much.
Yes, well, you did it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. One of the things that you quickly talked about near the end of my Q&A was that I had hybrid children.
Yes.
I was wondering if you'd be able to elaborate on that a little bit.
In what direction?
Are there any of them that would like to connect with me at this time? And is there anything that you could give me in relation?
There may be, but it's not going to happen in this particular moment in the way that you're talking about. They're always available to be connected with, and you can do that yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any guidance that you can provide us to how I can connect with them, certain signature frequencies that I can...
Well, you understand the formula we've given all of you, yes?
Yeah.
Because what happens when you act on your passion? You raise your frequency. What happens when you raise your frequency? You become a better antenna and a better receiver of higher frequency information and communication.
Okay.
That's why we give you the formula, because it contains every answer you need for all the things that you desire to connect to that are relevant for you to experience in your life. We don't leave anything out. It's completely self-contained. Just follow the formula, and everything that needs to unfold, and every appointment you've made, and every agreement you've made, and every communication you need to have from whomever will happen in perfect timing if you simply continue to raise your frequency by following the formula of acting on your passion to the best you can, with no insistence or assumption of the outcome, and remaining in a positive state no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. That's it. We can't make it any simpler for you. It's that simple. Just follow the formula. Everything that needs to happen that will fulfill you and serve you will happen in perfect timing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Just keep moving.
Okay. On that note as well, just with the channeling, that's something I've been working with, and being able to connect with certain frequencies and matching that within my own body. And I've also been using DMT to supplement as well, as a way of amplifying that connection, which I found to be a powerful permission slip for me.
All right.
Is there any advice or any guidance that you can give for me, or any alterations that I can make that may...
Well, again, as we have said, there are teachers, such as the idea of the DMT and other substances that the earth itself provides as teachers. But at a certain point, you come to realize that what you're learning is to get into that state on your own without the teacher, so that you can graduate and not allow the teacher to become a crutch. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I found. The more I'm able to get into that state, the less I need that sort of teacher. But then it's teaching me to reach certain other levels I'm then able to match as well.
Again, pay attention. It will not always necessarily feel the same as it did before, but you have to know you're in the proper state. And as we have reminded many of you, the trick to this is to remember the physics of it. The physics being, you cannot experience what you're not the vibration of first. So to even remember what it was like to have been in that state means you're in the state. Because if you're not in the state, you wouldn't be able to remember what it was like to be in the state. Mm-hmm. So as soon as you remember, oh yes, I remember what it felt like to be in that state, you're in the state. You have to be in the state to have the memory. Yeah. Make sense?
Does, yeah.
That's the trick. So realize that, and you will simply be in the state automatically anytime you remember what it was like to be in the state.
Awesome.
Yes?
Yep.
Does that help?
It does indeed.
And?
So when I'm having sort of my own DMT ceremonies, I'm connecting with certain frequencies, certain beings, and there's been mention of jesters, machine elves in certain types of circles.
Interesting labels for certain kinds of levels of consciousness that you may encounter, because the DMT has very specific frequency levels, each of which represents a different domain, a different realm, and a different ability and a different level to communicate with different levels of consciousness. Mm-hmm. Very specific layers within the DMT frequencies will connect you to very specific domains with very specific inhabitants.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any way that I can more consciously choose to match certain frequencies that will then allow me to assist me in... Actually, sorry, scratch that question.
Let me see. There's this thing I've heard about called following your passion. Maybe that might help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just came into my thought at the moment. One of the things I did want to ask you is more verbal channeling. So as I'm connected with these energies, I'm finding the energies more forming into my mouth. And
if you wish to verbal channel, one of the easiest ways to do it is to be surrounded by people who are asking questions they really need to know the answer to.
Okay.
Because then they act as a circuit that pulls the information through you into them and grounds it in them. Because if the information is just coming into you for you, it doesn't need to go anywhere, and you don't really need to fully get into that state. But if others are asking a question, then in a sense you can get out of the way and just let it flow through you like electricity grounding into a circuit.
Got it, okay.
So practice that and you will get better at it.
Right, okay. So at the moment it's more just sort of baby gurgles or something. It's like the energy.
You can start however you need to start and know that whatever comes through at that moment is appropriate and it is perfectly fine. Don't worry about looking foolish or crazy or sounding like it doesn't make sense. Just keep practicing like anything and you will get better at it.
Okay. Awesome.
Does that help?
It does, yeah. Is there anything else that...
Enjoy your journey to the Amazon.
Awesome.
You will find something there that will also amplify your ability to connect to the hybrid children.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are
Love
welcome.
you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. All right, let us continue the transmission in the following way. Allow yourselves to relax, become very comfortable, let go of the concerns of the day. Adjust your bodies and allow yourselves to focus on the holotope before you, and allow your lights to dim, allow your music to rise, and let go. Let yourselves begin to drift freely, gently, easily. Allow yourselves now to know that you are altering in a way that will allow for more awareness, more consciousness in your manifestation mechanism, manifestation space, the first belief, the collective consciousness and unconsciousness, the consensus reality. And as you become more aware of that first belief that says, this is real, this is real, this is real, that will become more conscious within you. And as it does, you will remember and remember and remember that because you need to say this is real, that means it's not. So you will allow yourselves, as this energy flows within you, fluidly, not only through your neurological net, but through very arteries, veins, cellular structure, all the things that make up the projection of a body in physical reality, and the physical mind with its beliefs and its emotions, its thoughts and behaviors. As you allow all this to sink in, to flow along those arteries, veins, nerves, conduits that carry the vibration of the life force within you, allow yourself to become more aware of that echo. This is real. This is real. This is real. And with every echo, you are reminded, it is not, it is not, it is not. Thus beginning to form the balancing act, the balanced state of being, where you allow yourself to flicker back and forth at whatever rate is appropriate for you, at whatever rate of frequency allows this to work for you. It will happen automatically, just allow it. You don't have to make it, just allow it. As it flickers back and forth, this is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. You begin to achieve that quasi-physical state in your consciousness, where you both know that it is real as an experience, while simultaneously also knowing it is your projection, it is your creation, and thus not real unto itself. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. The first belief reflects that this is real, reinforces that this is real, amplifies and magnifies that this is real. The higher mind tells you it is not. It is not. It is not. And thus, as you achieve this balance between the first belief and the higher mind, it allows you to function with more consciousness, more awareness, more intention, in a way that will allow you to begin to experience the fluidity of the physical reality, the malleability, the flexibility. It will flow like the blood flows through your veins, like the life force flows through your cells, like electricity flows through your nerves. It will flow. And your energy field and your physical body will begin to break down the barrier between the two, so that you begin to sense that the physical is energy, and that energy can be solid. And you begin to allow your consciousness in this manifestation space to experience the realm your physicists call the quantum, where you have both particle and wave, energy and matter, real and not, real and not, real and not. The first belief in the higher mind, in an orchestration, in a ballet, back and forth, spinning around each other with a common center of gravity. This is real. It is not. This is real. It is not. This is real. It is not. Allow yourselves to absorb this now through light and sound, in whatever language will work for you and your neurological net, so that your brain, your neurology may be rewired to be a more efficient conduit and conductor of this understanding, of this concept, of this principle, of the first belief. And allow more awareness that every single time the first belief tells you that physical reality is real, you become aware that the fact that it has to tell you that means that it's not. And you achieve the balance point of understanding that you chose this experience at this time to begin to soften the concept of what is real and what is physical and what is not, what is energy, what is particle, what is wave, and what is not. And more you find yourself in this balance point of awareness, this balance point of consciousness. You become the crucible in which you can melt down all your ideas and preconceived notions of physical reality and let it recrystallize in new ways, new arrangements, new reflections, new experiences. But you will experience them with a higher level of consciousness, knowing it is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Let the realities pass through you and by you and around you and over you and under you and through you. For it is real as an experience, but as a thing, it is not. No more substantial than the reflection of light from a mirror. It may take many forms and reflect many things that may seem very solid and very real, but this is simply the first belief. It is real and it is not. It is illusion that gives you an opportunity for a real experience, so you may learn, so you may grow, so you may expand and become more self-aware. For self-awareness is consciousness. Consciousness is self-awareness. For there is no awareness of the self without awareness of the reflection, of the other, that gives rise to the difference between the other and the self. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. You are manifesting yourself constantly every moment. You are a manifestation of your consciousness. Your physical body is a manifestation of your consciousness, your self-awareness, your identity, your perspective of all that is, as all that is, experiencing itself as a part of all that is. And that is real, and it is not. And that is real, and it is not. And that is real, and it is not. Float now freely in the in-between, in the neutral space between the polarities. Allow yourself now the opportunity to integrate the balance of these concepts within you, so that the first belief and the higher mind may work in concert in a dance with their gravitational centers spinning around one another, to give you the opportunity to more consciously recognize the manifestation that you are and the manifestation you can become when you know, when you are aware that physical reality is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Just drink it in, float freely, easily, calmly, effortlessly, beautifully, gracefully, creatively, lovingly, energetically, vibrantly, peacefully. Float freely in the dream. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and blow it out. And that wind is the wind of change, the wind that flows through the manifestation space, that reflects back to the first belief. Allow yourselves to drift in the dream. Allow yourselves to be who you truly are. Continue to just breathe deeply, gently, effortlessly. Let go of that which is not you, of that which weighs you down, of that which creates resistance to your natural self. Let it go. It may seem real, but it is not. It is real as an experience only, but not as a thing unto itself. It is real as long as you believe that it is. And when you realize that, then it is not. As your lights dim and your music softens, continue to float in a gentle void, in a gentle dream. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Welcome home. Our unconditional love to you all and deep appreciation. Sweet dreams. Good day.
Also mentioned that we would be speaking about the idea of the transformation itself, the accelerating wave of collective consciousness that many of you have intuitively recognized reaches a critical mass threshold in and around your cycle that you call 2012. This simply represents the idea of crossing into critical mass, where you have the potential for total positive reality. You have that now, of course, but after 2012, the idea of positive energy will be so much more available to so many more of you that if you should choose to ride the crest of that wave, the leading edge of that wave of consciousness, you can accelerate so rapidly, you can attract to yourself so rapidly the things that are representative of your passion, of your joy, without knowing in any way, shape, or form how these things could have happened, beyond reason, beyond logic, that again, your life will become literally so dreamlike, it will be at first dizzying and disorienting until you get used to it. Literally, you'll be walking through life like it's a dream, marveling at the miraculous synchronicities that just are popping up as a matter of course. Yes. When you ride the leading edge of the wave of consciousness. If, however, you choose to continue to compartmentalize your physical mind and make it responsible for being in charge, and have to know the how, and have to know the why, and have to know all the details before you'll be willing to believe that the higher self can simply bring this to you, then you will, by choice, position yourself somewhere down the line from the leading edge, in some of the eddies and currents and backwashes in the wake of the leading edge. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot find benefit in those locations, in those gradations of frequency behind the leading edge. But wherever it is you position yourself, you simply have to understand the effect you create will be absolutely directly commensurate with where you have positioned yourself, and it will not be any more than that. By definition, it cannot be any more than that. As an analogy, your visible spectrum of light, you understand that in the visible spectrum of light, red is a low frequency, the lowest visible frequency you can perceive with your eyes. Violet is the highest visible frequency you can perceive with your eyes in general. We understand many of you are beginning to stretch these boundaries, but for the purpose of this illustration, let's just stick with the common labeling of this visible spectrum. Now, you know, if something exists on the frequency of violet light, it's at a very high level of frequency, very high level of energy. And it will experience the things that go hand in hand with that level. If something chooses to exist on the other end of the spectrum, in the red frequency, it will be functioning at a lower wavelength, a slower wavelength, a lower vibration, and will only experience the things that are commensurate with that level in the spectrum. It's all energy, it's all light, it's all the same stuff, as you say, but the difference in gradation of the vibrational frequency will ultimately determine what is capable of being experienced on that level. If you're operating at a certain wavelength toward the lower end of that spectrum, you will only perceive red. Only! You will never perceive violet at that end of the spectrum. If you are operating at the violet end of the spectrum on a high frequency level, you will only perceive violet. You will never perceive red at that end of the spectrum. Ever. So, the leading edge of the wave of your collective consciousness on this transformation, you can live there and ride the crest, or you can allow yourself to float back into the wake. Somewhere in there will be vibrations that will be representative of whatever degree you are willing to allow your belief system to take hold. So, you must understand that if you do that, there are consequences to that. The consequence being that you can only perceive what is directly commensurate with the level you're on, and nothing else. Nothing lower, but nothing higher. But you are all capable of choosing to ride the crest, the leading edge. All right. Now, when some of you consider this, you get scared. It's going too fast for me. I might fall off. I might crash. I might smack into a brick wall. As if suddenly one would appear. Of course it will if you create it. But again, understand that if you create that brick wall, that's an indication you are no longer on the leading edge. Brick walls do not exist by definition on the leading edge. They only exist back down the line, in the wake, in one of the eddies, in one of the currents that is representative of belief systems that there are such things as brick walls. But if you're truly, truly, truly riding the leading edge, truly, as you say, surfing the crest, then you will understand that just like being on the top of the mountain, you have a clear and unobstructed view of everything in front of you. And you ride that wave right into ecstasy. Ride the leading edge of the ecstasy. Allow yourself the opportunity to know you can. You don't have to choose to. But then if you don't be surprised by what is commensurate for that level. It's completely up to you what to lock onto, what to believe, what to align with, what to associate yourself with. You can, on one hand, say, I understand these concepts. I believe these concepts. I will live these concepts. I am this idea. It can happen instantly, effortlessly, miraculously, wonderfully, joyfully, creatively, lovingly, now, for me. Or you can recognize that you tend, quote unquote, choose to gravitate more to informational sources that confirm your own fear. Well, one should take their time. Well, one has to be careful with this stuff. Now, we understand that there is such a thing as recognizing and honoring whatever belief system you happen to have, and not pushing yourself beyond it if you truly don't believe you can, because that would simply be disastrous. But the idea is to understand and to clearly take responsibility for knowing that if you are aligning with someone that says, well, you can't just go full throttle because you have to be careful that you're not doing this and you're not doing that. You might fool yourself here, you might fool yourself there, and you have to take it easy. If you align yourself with that, that's all well and good. But understand that you are choosing to, and it has nothing at all to do with the fact that you could change your belief and allow yourself to ride the leading edge where things manifest instantaneously. You could. But if you are not, it's your choice. And that's, once again, where you really need to be passionate about being passionate and find out why you are choosing to not ride the leading edge. You will obviously have your own reason for not doing so. Whatever that reason is, whatever you feel is the need for safety, is up to you to determine. but just take responsibility and recognize the responsibility and the choice that you are making for understanding that it's not empirically true that you have to do it that way. It's not empirically true that you have to listen to what that person is saying as opposed to what this person is saying. It's just your choice. Take responsibility for it and then be passionate about finding out why you believe what you do, so that you can, if you are willing, open up to new beliefs that will allow you to move up the spectrum and be in the violet instead of in the red, financially speaking. So, allow yourselves to simply at every given moment recognize what you're doing. Let go of the need to understand the how of it. Because you see, one of the things that stops many of you from having the experiences that were described in the recording is that, for example, when someone says, well, you know, I simply got into the state where I believed I would simply receive more checks. Your physical, logical, reasonable mind goes, well, where the heck are they supposed to come from? I haven't done anything to earn that money. What are you saying? That some stranger just suddenly going to get into his head to pop a check in the mail to me for no reason whatsoever, and I'm just going to go to my mailbox and open a check that comes from a total stranger that's suddenly giving me exactly what I want? Yes! Yes, that is what's being said. Yes, that is one possible way. Yes, that is one possible example of what could happen. But when your logical, reasonable, physical mind going, how does that make any sense? The thing to remind it is that it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to make sense. When you stop needing it to make sense, then you'll make dollars. You have got to give up. You've got to give up your need, your physical mind's need for everything to have a reason, for everything to make logical sense in the physical third-dimensional world. If you say you wish to live in fourth-density reality, you must give up the things that are commensurate with the three-dimensional world, such as logic, reason. Not totally. I'm not saying be willy-nilly, fly by the seat of your pants people. I'm saying be aware of the fact that these things are simply points of view, and that you often stop yourselves from allowing these things to come to you because you logic them to death. You detail them to death, literally. You look for a chain of reasonable connection. And believe me, in fourth density reality, there are many chains that to a third density mind are not reasonable or rational at all. You have asked us, how do we travel from star to star? And we have explained to you, we don't travel from star to star. We're simply here, then we're simply there. The logical mind boggles. But how did you get there? How is it possible to go from here to there without stepping on all the places in between? That's not rational. That's not logical. Yes, it is from a different point of view. I'm talking about not abandoning logic. I'm talking about higher logic. The logic that comes from standing on the mountaintop where you can see the entire valley, the entire network, and where it makes sense to you on the mountaintop to say, if you actually go back 3 steps and then to the left, you're actually going to get there more quickly than if you just go straight ahead. Whereas down in the valley, the logical mind self is going, but everyone knows the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And if I go backwards, how can I get there sooner than if I go forwards? How? And the higher self goes, ugh. Because I can see that if you go forward there, the bridge is out. And if you take 3 steps back and go to the left, you go on a parallel road where the bridge is fine. But the point is that the language of the higher self cannot always communicate all those specifics to the physical mind, because the physical mind does not always have the capacity for that kind of translation. The only way that dialogue, most often than not from the higher self, translates to the physical mind is simply suddenly the urge to go back. The urge itself, the intuition itself, in the physical mind is the condensation and capsulization of the entire explanation from the higher self, saying, if you go 3 steps back and then go to the left and go down the parallel road, then the bridge is up. But all the physical mind will get is the tug. That's how it translates in physical reality, because the physical mind is not capable of actually perceiving in the same way the higher self is, and doesn't have to know all the reasons why and how. All it needs to do is know that that's part of who you are, and allow yourself to recognize that that is a communication and to follow it, and that you have received the information that you need, because it's on the same wavelength of your joy, of your passion. Why? Because you say it is. And you flow with it, and thus find out that it is. Or resist it for as long as you want, and keep walking on the same road until you get to the washed out bridge and go, oh, why didn't I listen to my intuition back there? Because you thought you were in charge, smarty. But you're not. Not you alone. You are in charge, but not you alone, physical mind. Physical mind, higher self, that's the you that's in charge. Both aspects of your being is the persona, not just the physical personality self. That's only a part of it. So if you want to know you're in charge, you have to behave like the whole you, and be willing to open up and receive and perceive in whatever way it works for you, the dialogue and the communication coming from the portion of yourself that is the higher self, that has the higher point of view, that has the bigger picture, and be willing to understand it's working on your behalf. It's not going to trick you. It's not going to deceive you. The only thing in your reality that can create the idea of tricks and deception is the physical mind's belief system, not the higher self. Because it is only in physical three-dimensional reality that you can have the experience of a personality structure that can actually deny its own truth. So any tricks, any deception that you may be afraid of encountering can only actually be coming from the personality aspect that's actually afraid it's going to be deceived. That's the paradox. It can't come from the higher self because that's a bigger picture point of view. And it can clearly see the road. And there is no reason, there is no logic for the higher self to go, yeah, take the left road. Watch and see how my lower self falls into the river. This ought to be fun. Oops, I went with it. You are under the assumption that the higher self is immune from what you experience in physical reality. Incorrect. You are one being, and the higher self will suffer the slings and arrows that the physical mind shoots itself with. You are one being, and it is not detached from you, and it is not immune to the consequences of the physical mind's choices. But because the higher self is closer to the vibration of unconditional love, it will overlook it again and again and again and again, attempting to unconditionally loving you, reminding you, please take the other road, please. Oh, here we go again. It is not immune to the consequences of the physical mind's acts and choices. Do not assume that it is. But it is close enough to unconditional love to forgive it and to keep giving you the benefit of the doubt. That's the relationship of your higher self. That's its job. To keep on guiding you no matter what. Because it is the vibration of unconditional love that the physical mind often refuses to allow itself to perceive through the belief systems it chooses to buy into that deny its truth to itself. So, higher self says, please, 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 please know you are loved. Please, please, please allow me to love you. Please, please, please love yourself enough to know you're not alone in this. That you don't have to do it all. That you weren't designed to. You weren't expected to. Ever. Not once. Carry this burden by yourself. Let me be your guide because I am you. Become familiar with that portion of yourself. It is not detached. It is not separate. It is not aloof. It is not in its own realm unaware of what you are choosing to experience. It will also experience it in its own way. But nevertheless, will always overlook it and always urge you forward. Or left, or back, or whatever is necessary. Take a deep breath and let this sink in deeply, deeply, deeply. And allow yourself to at least consider the possibility that you deserve to be on the leading edge of the crest of the wave of consciousness of the transformation. Take another deep breath. Now, in terms of your time frame, what is the time remaining for the segment of this transmission?